Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So, yesterday was actually a pretty monumental day for me, but first, let's talk a little bit about my portfolio. I like all of the holdings that are in my portfolio right now. I believe in all of them, but I do think that I have too much margin. I think that is pretty much the biggest issue with my entire portfolio is that I'm in over leveraged crap, and at any moment, like for example, Nvidia is giving their talk today. So there is a big chance that Nvidia will go down a lot today. So what are we going to do? Well, not hedge Nvidia. No, let's not do that. That's silly. Rest your mind. We're not protecting my NVYY. Why would we do that? No, actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to ULTY, and I was looking at it last night, and it actually hit $5.82, which is my average cost, and I lump sum bought into it. So I'm not gonna sell everything, and it's not going to be in order. We're going to do a limit order, which is it needs to be this price or higher. We'll do $5.82. So I'm not looking to profit. I just don't want to lose money. And then I wanted to take out around $15,000. And that would get me, it's sacrificing $1,000 a month, but $15,000, I think it's going to take me around 3 months. Excuse me for a second. My cat wants a piggyback ride. So, yeah, so limit order at $5.82. I want to do about $15,000 worth. That way, it's sacrificing $1,000 a month that I'm estimating at around an 80% distribution rate, but this should get me closer to a 50% margin buffer. And I think having more margin buffer will give me more peace of mind than that extra $1,000 at this point. And if I'm freeing up that $15,000, I could technically start doing a dividend wheel on, or not dividend wheel, an option wheel on MSTX or something like that, and use option collateral, because in March and April, when the market went down a lot, the options collateral, the value of that didn't change. So my portfolio, like the margin buffer, didn't change. Right now, everything's in actual stock, so, and in over leveraged crap. So if it goes down 50%, then I think getting out of $15,000 now when the market is stable, I guess you could call it, is better than trying to scrounge up an extra $15,000 when everything is down super bad. So, and this is my fault for just doing this in the first place. So $5.82. What did I do wrong? 2,500. Oh. Yeah, that's what happened. I misdid a number. 78. Okay. There we go. So we're going to put in this limit order. It's not going to be for market hours. It's going to be 24 hours, and it's going to be until November 25th. And I think that it's a good sign, because in the overnight market, before it opened today, it was at $5.82 for a second, and I almost did a market order, but I didn't want to sell at a loss. This is just literally breaking even plus the 80% distribution yield I got that one time. So if it hits $5.82 and I get out, then I get to have a lot of margin back, and if it doesn't, then I just write it out, because this is the choice I made at the time. So actions have consequences, and we'll do that. So we have that, and I should technically, for NVYY, if it goes down like 5%, I should get out of some of this and then maybe buy back in at the cheaper rate if it goes down by a lot, but then I would have to do PLTW as well. I think, you know what, if I talk about it and I don't do it, so this one, we want to do a trailing stop order, I believe. And I don't know why in your app it tells you what all of these mean. Okay, so we go to sell. The stop order is if NVYY falls to a fixed stop price, trigger a market sell. The stop limit order, if it falls to a stop fixed okay, so stop limit order is the same as a stop order, except it has a limit price. So it has to be above that price or higher. And a trailing stop order, if it falls below the highest price by specific amount, trigger a market sell. So I just think that it's going to be a wild ride today. So if you do a trailing stop order and it says trailing type %, and we say if it falls below 5%, let's get out of, how many shares do I have? I have 900 shares. So let's get out of like 200 shares. It expires at 4 p.m. today. So if it goes below 5%, I'll have 200 shares, and then I can buy back. I mean, I know that when you sell for a loss, there's the wash sale rule. But if I sell at 5% and it goes down all the way 8 or 10%, I can buy back in slowly, buy more shares, and at a better price, get my cost basis down. And I'm losing enough money this year that it's fine. So this is just for today in case something really bad happens during the call, and then for the PLTW as well, because they're not related, but they're pretty much. Anyway, so trailing stop order percentage, if it goes down 5%, then I want to get out of 140 shares. 140. Okay. Wow, I don't want to get out of 1400. No, that's not. 5, 4. Okay. 141. So if it goes below 5%, I want to get rid of 141 shares. And then when it falls, I can get back in at a better price. Sell 4 p.m. today. And so I'm not really expecting MST or BID. I mean, they'll probably go down in the same direction, but I'm not going to hedge them by having the market share thing. So yeah, if ULTY goes above $5.82 today, which it did pre-market, then I'll be pretty happy. And If these two go down by 5%, I will be pretty sad, but it gives me opportunity to buy them back even cheaper. Anyways, what was I? We're 8 minutes in. I haven't even gotten to what I want to talk to you about today. I sent my wire transfer yesterday to sell my condo, and they received it, which means the only thing I have to do is show up on Tuesday and sign a document. So as far as I'm concerned, my condo is sold, and that's amazing. And so I actually formed an LLC yesterday. My new company is called High Yields, HAI Yields, and LLC. I formed it in Tennessee, and when I was doing my articles of organization, they asked, do I want it to be a series LLC? And I had never heard of that before. And it turns out that's like the newfangled thing, and it hasn't been out for very long. But basically, you create the parent LLC, and then you can internally create new companies. And that way, you don't have to file for articles. Like, you don't have to spend $300 every time you have a new business idea. You can just create a new series underneath the parent, and it's legally its own entity, and each of the businesses have limited liability from each other as long as you don't commingle any of the finances. So I can have YieldMight and bad financial decisions and yield calci and yield zones and all of the ones that I'm working on. They can all have their own series underneath this parent company. And I think that is exactly what I was looking for. So today I'm doing the operating agreement, which I wound up paying $35 for a template because the operating agreement from the parent company is what will actually set my entire business up to either be limited liability, or if I get sued, it could get the big fear with limited liability companies and how we do it is that they determine that it's not really a company and that it's just an extension of you. And so they pierce the corporate veil, and then all of a sudden they can take my house, they can take my cars, they can take everything that I want, my entire portfolio, everything. So I'm going to be very careful and hopefully not get sued, and it won't be a big deal. It won't ever come up, but it's better to take the time before bad things happen to set things up properly. So the steps to forming a business is you file with your state, you get approved, and then, you find a unique name and you buy a domain, whatever, but then you file with the state, and then you apply for your EIN, which I did. That's the IRS employer identification number, and that allows me to create a bank account. But I need an operating agreement before I make a bank account, and I need to figure out how much to put in as like my initial owner's contribution. But, it won't be a lot because I have no money and I'm unemployed. But after that, I'll create, as a part of it today, I'm going to create my first series and then apply for EINs for each of those series, and then open up bank accounts for those two because I cannot commingle the funds from the parent company with any of the series. But I can have agreements where the parent company can initially pay for a bill, like you can bill the parent company, and then the parent company will ask for reimbursement from the series, which I think I'll do for like taxes. That way I don't have to pay taxes separately. Like Railway app, I only have one Railway app account that I pay the $5 a month for, but I have a lot of different containers within it. So I'll be splitting the cost for hosting my websites between the different series because the different series are responsible for it. But I will have the parent business pay for the initial bill. So this just means that I have to go through everything and make sure that the correct business is getting the correct money, and set things up for myself so that we have really good documentation about how everything is being spent and like where things are going, so that when we do accounting and I, have to do my quarterly taxes and everything's separate, and we're a legal business. So I don't particularly like the admin stuff, but I would rather not get sued, and it's kind of like insurance. So I think one of the only drawbacks for the series LLC that I can see is that each series is going to have to pay the franchise tax. So each series has a minimum of $100 every year, but it's actually based off of the like gross revenue, or like what your company is worth at the time. So eventually that tax could increase per series, but that just means that the series is doing really well. So it's fine. It's just the cost of doing business. Anyways, yes, I have a new company called High Yields, and we're just going to go from here. What do you think Nvidia is going to do? Is Nvidia going to go up with the good news, or is it going to go down because every time there's good news, it goes down? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. I didn't forget to talk about the members. You forgot to talk about the members. Anyway, so today on Financial Philharmonics, we have From Now On, which is a reggae pop song, and it's just about being excited about the future, which that's exactly what today was about. I have a new business. I am going to do great things with both YieldMight and YieldCalci, and just getting things published and just trucking along. Things will happen the way that they happened. And even hedging, to me, this isn't a bad thing. Like, trying to just de-risk myself a little bit. Not a lot, just like the teensiest little amount, I think will be good for me in the future. Just future me will thank me, because at some point I will have that much in my portfolio, and it won't be through margin, and I'll be making that much money, and it'll feel good. But for now, the market does not care how much I want to earn, $15,000 a month. The market only knows that I'm over leveraged, and will probably punish me for that, if I'm to be honest. But from now on, and I want to be a part of this market. I want to be a part of the business. I want to be a part of the high income community, and I'm just so grateful that you all have chosen to listen to me. Anyways, thank you, Omega Werewolf X, Jetta, Abdullah, and In My Opinion. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for being members. If you want to, you can join me, and you can get videos, not every single day, but kind of off-brand, not personal finance, just more things like cooking and gardening and a little bit of programming, although I do have my programming channel, which I'm trying to post every single day. But yesterday I formed a business and I was busy. So we'll just thank you all so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate that. And then for YieldMight, someone pointed out yesterday that someone asked for the additional shares, and it's here. It's the third option. And you can say, I want 30 more shares. And it'll say you would need $951 to buy 30 more shares, and that would be $6.46 of distributions. So $6.46 in distributions from the 30 shares that you bought. And that's what this section is. And then the distribution desired, there is a bug. I'm aware of it. I will fix it today. So basically, it's expecting this needed to invest is the month amount for every single one of these. So it's probably just some missed parameter or something. So it really should be that this $250,000 to get $1,000 per week should be here. And then if you wanted $1,000 per month, this should be less. And if you want $1,000 per year, this should be way less. So I'm sorry that I did not catch that before that, but we'll get that taken care of. So my question still stands. What do you think Nvidia is going to do today? I think it's going to go down because no matter if it's good or bad news, it usually goes down. But I don't know. I'm not an oracle. I'll talk to you later. Bye.